The U.S. Federal Reserve is a vital institution that's at the center of the U.S. economy. And in their recently published report, referred to as the Beige Book, they said some pretty dire things. They pointed out that, quote, the pace of growth slowed, constrained by supply chain disruptions and labor shortages, referring to September through October. Goes on to talk about how in transportation and technology and manufacturing, there has been labor supply shortages, while retail, hospitality, and manufacturing firms have had cut hours of production and other problems due to the pandemic. Now, inflation in the United States reached a 13-year high in June, and it's remained high ever since. And polls show that 62% of Americans believe that Joe Biden is to blame for this. Now, it's important to note that inflation started climbing in April, after Joe Biden had already been in office for 3 months. Now, rather than holding Biden's feet to the fire, we see mainstream media stepping up to defend Biden and point the finger at the American people. There was recently an article published by the Washington Post on Monday that went as far as telling the U.S. public to lower their expectations and to stop blaming the Biden administration for falling living standards. Now, needless to say, there were many who spoke up and did not approve of the tone of that article. Among them was Republican Senator Josh Hawley.
You know, I think that lower your expectations, Tucker, is really the slogan of the Biden presidency. We're told that the American people are the problem. You know, you're the problem. National malaise. Oh, it's all the American people's fault. In fact, it's Joe Biden's fault and his terrible policies. He's trying to run down this country because he doesn't believe in it.
And at this point, we've got Joe Biden losing public support. Polls continue to show that. There was a poll Tuesday from Quinnipiac University that showed 37% of Americans think Biden is doing a good job, while 50% disapprove of how he's handling the presidency. 58% of voters are even unsure whether or not Biden is physically and mentally up to the task of running the country. Now, Biden himself doesn't seem very concerned about this. He tends to blame Donald Trump when confronted about the problems in the economy and other failures of his administration. In September, Biden even told reporters that he doesn't actually look at the polls, but he's confident that his policies are, quote, overwhelmingly popular. And of course, he doesn't miss an opportunity to blame his predecessor, saying, quote, take a look what I inherited when I came to office. He's also blamed Republicans for refusing to raise the debt ceiling. Now, on Tuesday, Jen Psaki, the White House spokesperson, she was confronted about some of this, and the answer she gave didn't go over very well.
It was crystal clear that things were not improving on supply chain. People couldn't get dishwashers and furniture and treadmills delivered on time, not to mention all sorts of other things. So why is it...
The tragedy of the treadmill that's delayed.
Right, the problem.
Now, we spoke to people on the streets of New York about how they've been affected by this and how they felt about the White House comments. Here's what we heard.
If they would stop really making jokes about it and actually action things, we would get things done.
Well, I think it's terrible. I think that it's a major problem and it needs to be addressed. And I don't know that Washington is doing a whole lot about it.
I'm in the electrical business and everything is backdoored. You gotta wait months.
Now, the U.S. economy is showing signs of systemic distress. We've got the inflation that is hitting Americans in their daily lives, the supply chain issues, and most Americans, according to the polls, feel that Joe Biden is responsible. However, the Biden administration, they blame it on Donald Trump, they blame it on other factors, and they don't seem to be very concerned about it.